Hey there, welcome to my channel. We are doing the Navamsha series. Now let's understand the house relationship. Remember, we are talking about house relationship between one house to another house, okay? So think of the house aspects colored by the sign aspects, and that's how we'll kind of analyze this. This is the 311 relationship of houses between any two houses. What is this? Number one, the 311 relationship is shared between any house, okay, and third place ahead of it, counting that house also. For example, first house to third house is the classic one we take, right? In Aries Ascendant, we take Aries. First house is Aries and third house becomes Gemini. So relationship between Aries and Gemini always in any chart is 1 to 3. So it is 311, meaning from the first house, third house is the third place. From third house, counting counterclockwise. Always the count is counterclockwise in Vedic astrology, okay? So from third house, 11th position becomes the first house. So that's the 311 relationship. Let's take another one. Fifth and seventh house. That means the relationship between Leo and Libra, sign-wise, and even house-wise. Follow me here closely because it has to do with sign, it has to do with house as well. So the fifth house and seventh house, that is Leo and Libra, share a 311 relationship. That means from the fifth house, seventh house is the third place. And from the seventh house, counting counterclockwise, the 11th place is the fifth house once again. Okay? Same with fourth and sixth house. For example, in any chart, that means the relationship between Cancer and Virgo is 4 to 6. That is a 311 relationship. Now, what is the core characteristic of this? Let's see. The third house from any house shows the effort, talent, skill of that house needed, and the results of taking care of efforts, putting in the efforts, putting in your talents, putting in your skills, developing them. The results of that in any house shows up will in the 11th place from itself, meaning these relationships. Meaning, let's take the first one. If it is 1 to 3 in any kind of ascendant, this applies to all ascendants, by the way. And it applies to D1, D9, all kinds of charts. This is the principle of astrology itself. But we need this to go on to Navamsha, otherwise we'll get lost, really. So 1 to 3, let's take for Aries Ascendant, or let's take for any Ascendant, 1 to 3. If the person puts efforts in the third house, develops the skills, develops the talents, that's the third house, right? The gains of that, the fame and fulfillment of desire, which is 11th, think of Aquarius, okay, will be felt in the individual personality. The person will feel more fulfilled in of themselves. That's the lesson right there. It's amazing how much life lesson you can draw from just these basic analysis. This is why we tell you, cultivate your skills, cultivate your talent, you will feel more. Your personality itself, the house number 1 will expand. We can extend that to other houses as well. We shall see that little later with other ascendants. That means the more effort, the more talent, the more skills are put in, the better results will be felt in the personality, first house, 11th from the third house. As fame, as gains, as success. You see, in Vedic astrology, gain is not necessarily in terms of monetary or bank accounts. It is in terms of what the house desires to be fulfilled with. Think of it that way. And we shall take some examples for more clarity. The third from a house shows aspects of intellect, communication, effort, and skill, like Gemini. Think Gemini-like qualities need to be put in any house, third from a house. And 11th from the house shows the gains, fulfillment of desire, fame, success. 11th house, the Aquarius, which is Aquarius-like, is not just gains in terms of monetary thing. It's fulfillment of long-term desires. It's a growth house. Third house and 11th house are called upachya houses, meaning it grows with time. You need to cultivate skills and talents with time. It doesn't come overnight. It shows some time element there. And so the gains also develop likewise, proportionally, you might say. This is the principle you got to see. Third from a place is like Gemini. You have to put an effort in there. Third from fifth house is seventh house. So in the Libra house, if you put in efforts, which is fifth from, which is third from Leo. Leo stands for what? Fifth house, romance, love. Seventh house is for spouse. So the more efforts you put with spouse, the more you will gain that love, admiration, and respect from your spouse, which is fifth house, the house of romance. See, I just tied in a principle which is universal. It doesn't matter what your ascendant is, right? What is natal versus Navamsha? Number one, natal chart is all about physical body, personality, physical events of life, everything that is physical, your physical body. Even the 1 to 12 houses stands for specific places in the human body. For example, Pisces stands for feet, Aries stands for head, and everything in between stands from head to feet. Fifth house stands for the stomach. So it's all about physicality, physical events, physical personality, and it comes and goes as the physical events of life, as jobs, as people, as relationships, as money, as health, change in personality, change in desires, and so on. That's the natal chart. Navamsha, on the other hand, is all about your internal self, your soul self, your internal drives as you mature. Now, typically, most astrologers agree that it is considered to mature, or Navamsha is supposed to kick in at 32 years of age or onwards of a person's life. Everything beyond 32 years or 36 years, some astrologers say, considering maturity of Saturn. Or even after you have an intimate relationship of any kind, Navamsha starts off. So even if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, you are starting your Navamsha straight away. Okay, even if it's at an early age. Keep this in mind. Number 3, for transits and remedies of any kind. Now, so many people are giving out remedies on YouTube and online and on classes. Remember this, for transits and remedies, only take the natal charts. They are consulted because it has to do with the physical aspect of our life. What comes and goes. See the point number 1. So remedies and transits are only applicable or should be applied to natal chart and not to Navamsha or any further divisional charts, because natal chart has got still the highest number of points in Vedic astrology, and they are all about physical events and physical bodies. Everything physical in nature, everything in 3D. Number 4, the way to understand natal Navamsha relationship is study natal chart as the basis. That's a foundational basis. Navamsha as the means the soul is using to accomplish that which is already there in the natal chart. So essentially speaking, Navamsha Ascendant, planets, etc. are mapped back into the natal chart to compare and study where the position of the sign planet has shifted and where is the area of focus of life, work, health, relationships, the soul desires to experience. Once we understand the basics of the house, the sign, the planet, the house relationships, only then can we begin to understand the process of study of planets, case studies, Atma Karaka, and so on. Okay, keep this as the basis of all understanding as we go further. Let's take the case of Gemini Ascendant, okay? And always start this line of thinking. You see the qualities of the Ascendant. Gemini is traditionally the third sign. So it is standing for communication, development of skill, talking, a lot of talking, maybe a lot of hand skills, and so on. So Gemini cannot sit still. It has to have something to do, something to talk about, something to write about, right? That's the drive of the ascendant itself. Always remember the drive of the ascendant. Because if that is pulled away, it's like pulling the carpet from under your feet. It doesn't have any ground to stand on. It will lose its grounding, so to speak. Should never do that. So Gemini's focus being the skill itself. Let's see the relationship 311 between its 4th house and 6th house. So the 4th house and Gemini ascendants will have the qualities of Virgo. That means it feels like as if it is work, it is hard work. It feels more of kind of getting debts, into buying homes. It takes a lot of home loans, gets into fights inside the house. All of this stuff goes on in its home front. But what is the quality of the 4th house? What does 4th house itself desire? Okay, then let's see the fulfillment of that desire in 3 ways or in 2 ways. The 3rd place from the 4th house is the 6th house. Number 1, 2, and 3. So it's 6th house. Now the 4th house desires peace, desires harmony, desires love, desires comfort. 4th house is a place of heart, of comfort. That's what it desires. So if the Gemini wants to have more peace of mind, it should work on the 3rd place from itself, that is on the 6th house. Therefore, the 11th place becomes the 4th house from the 6th, and it will end up gaining the aspects of that house. Be very clear on this. It is not aspects on the ascendant itself, but on that house. The aspects of that house improve if we focus on this. So, 3rd place from 4th house for a Gemini ascendant becomes Scorpio. So think Scorpio like and think 6th house type matters. 6th house type matters is daily selfless work, daily routines. Okay. So if the Gemini ascendant works on a Scorpio like quality, that is research, hidden things, uncovering hidden things, researching on hidden things in daily work or in your work or in your business, try to uncover all the hidden aspects, study them, research. Research and deep analysis is Scorpio. Scorpio is filtering out all the stuff that is unnecessary, getting rid of it, and getting to the core and diving in deep. That is Scorpio. That means to say, Gemini, for all the skills it desires to upgrade and for all the peace of mind it is desiring to acquire, it needs to do research as a form of its daily work, some part of it. And when it does that, and over a period of time, because 6th house is also Pacha, it grows through time. So as this house gets developed, 11th place from itself, which becomes the 4th house ruled by Virgo, improves. The health improves. Virgo is also health. The physical health improves. The quality of the house improves. There's peace of mind. Ruled by Mercury is peace of mind. Gemini evaluates peace of heart as peace of mind because it is ruled by Mercury. You see how many ways I am evaluating this. I just wanted to give you a sample of this kind of way of thinking. Let's just take another example of another ascendant and see how this plays out, the 311 relationship. Let's take the case of Scorpio ascendants now. And let's analyze the so-called difficult houses. Let's say 6 to 8 relationship. This is also 311, yes? From the 6th house, 7th and 8th, 2nd and 3rd position. So this is the 8th house in any chart is 11th from the 6th, right? Counting counterclockwise, this 8th house, which is ruled now by Gemini in a Scorpio ascendant, the 11th place from this house becomes the 6th house for a Scorpio ascendant. Now, Scorpio wants to do things in secret. It is always introverted because its 8th house is sitting in the 1st house, obviously. So it's the most introverted sign. It is self-introspective. It wants to discover all kinds of secrets. Then only it feels itself. Now, 6th house stands for daily work and daily routines. So it's ruled by Aries in this case. So Scorpio people want to take up random projects all the time. They want to start initiating new projects, starting new kinds of tasks and activities, because Aries is an unstable energy. And this being ruled by Mars, it becomes more so. Yes? So they initiate different kinds of work routines. Now, third place from this is Scorpio-like energy itself, the 8th house. So, but the 8th house in this case, in Scorpio case, is ruled by Gemini, which is all about communication, development of skill. So if they want to successfully initiate new projects, the Scorpio has to use its talent of diving deep and cultivating its communication ability more. The Scorpios are typically very quiet types. They do not communicate. You see how this relates. Communication went to 8th house. It's subdued. So Scorpio needs to communicate its skill sets regarding hidden things, regarding research, regarding analysis, 8th house like, Scorpio like. And if it does that more, it transforms its ability to generate new projects. So all Scorpio's new projects that it desires in the 6th house will transform only if they develop their own skill sets in communication. This will be a challenge, obviously, because 8th house is transformative. If Scorpio starts speaking and developing more communication skills, or any skill set depending upon planets, arrangement, etc., nakshatras and all the rest of it, if they do this more through time, they will keep transforming their ability to generate and initiate new projects. And Scorpio can be very interested in both of these because it is transformative for it, this triangle. Okay? The 1, the 6 and the 8, very highly transformative aspects. But those aspects require conscious participation. If they don't do this, then it will be a challenge for them, because they'll keep trying to re-improvise on the same front. This house needs to be transformed in order for the 11th place from itself to gain something. For Aries, the gain is initiation of the new project. Aries feels satisfied only if there is new stuff going on all the time. But where is that new stuff going to come from? It's going to come from deep intellectual research and analysis for a Scorpio. You see how I came to the conclusion? Let's take Capricorn Ascendant and analyze this another way. What does Capricorn Ascendant desire? In the first house is number 10. So they desire status. 10th house is the house of status. Not fame, mind you, status. What is your status in society? Do people think of me as something like a big shot? Have I attained certain status, certain position in the society, in your work? 10th house is of work, right? That's what the Capricorn desires. Am I making an impact in my workplace? It's everything to do with work. Now, the house of fame, the 5th house of Leo, ruled by the sun, now has gone to the 8th house. So the fame goes to die here, so to speak. The fame needs some transformation. In order for the Capricorn to attain some sense of fame, it has to be having some transformational sense of leadership. 5th house. Okay? So now I want to transform this 5th house. How do I do that for a Capricorn Ascendant? Basically, 3rd place. Fulfillment of desire as fame. 3rd place from it is the 10th house itself. 3rd place from 8th house is the 10th house. So whenever 8th house transforms, 10th house by default transforms for every ascendant, yes? In the case of Capricorn, however, it becomes Libra in the 10th house. What does Libra stand for? Libra stands for spouse, for partnerships. So whenever Capricorn Ascendant takes effort in developing good partnerships, good relationship with all others, good relationships with the spouse, number 7, all the Libra-like qualities, it ends up transforming or gaining the fame it requires from the sun in the positions Therefore, as status, in this day and age, we equate status with fame, although it's slightly different. Saturn is status, Sun is fame. Sun fame is short lived. Saturn's status is respected by the masses. Saturn is respectable and respected by the masses. Sun is more of a king. So back to transforming Libra like energy in the 10th house, that is focusing on their skills and efforts. Remember, third place from Leo is Libra. In this case, it's the 8th house to the 10th house. So for a Capricorn Ascendant, the more they work on their partnerships and the relationship with the spouse, the more they improve this with their skills, with their effort. Third place is the effort. The gains and the fulfillment of desire will be felt in the 8th house, which is now sitting in the house of Scorpio, which is transformative. So it will end up transforming this house, therefore giving them more status, more fame, and more fulfillment for the ascendant itself. Because 10th house, remember, is the focus of Capricorn. It is sitting in the first house, number 10. Therefore, Capricorn wants status, wants to be known by the people. How is it going to get that? There's the secret. This has to be worked on in terms of Libra energy, in terms of developing partnerships, not going at it alone. That won't help a Capricorn. It has to do it with the people. And how does it have to do with the people? The 6th house, by communicating. Number 3, Gemini, is communication. They need to communicate more with their partners in order to transform their fame and reputation. 5th house is also your reputation. Leo is reputation, which has gone into the 8th house, number 5. Leo has gone to 8th house in the Capricorn Ascendant. You see how this works. I'll leave you with this much part. And next one, we shall do the 4-10 relationship. Now we did 3-11, we'll do 4-10. Until then, take care.